All right, so this is what the stitch looks like up close. It's a very, very pretty stitch. Look at that. It's got like beads, stitches, and chains and blocks. Beautiful, beautiful stitch. Looks hard, doesn't it? Doesn't that look hard? It's not though. It's not at all. I'm gonna show you how to do it. Don't leave because you think it's hard. I promise it's not hard. It's so pretty. This is a great, nice, lightweight, lacy cowl. You know, it dress up any outfit for a nice. Oh, that's pretty. Very pretty stitch. Very pretty stitch. Very pretty yarn. So let's go ahead and get started on this. So my cowl measures approximately. I'm gonna say it's probably 13 inches. Right? Yeah, it's right about 13 inches, and then about 9 inches tall. Alright, for this project I use Lion brand Low Tide, which is an 81 acrylic and 19 polyester blend, medium weight number 4. You do not have to use this yarn at all. Any medium weight number 4 will work. Polyester, acrylic, cotton, wool, whatever you have, whatever you choose to use, as long as it's a medium weight number 4, it will do just fine. In case you're interested though, the color I have is called Sunset, and there are 306 yards in this skein, so this was a one skein project. This is what I have left, so I'm going to say you're going to need about 250 yards just to be safe of a medium weight number 4. And then I'm going to be using a size J, which is a 6mm crochet hook. Alright, this stitch is done in a multiple of 10. In case you want to make your cowl bigger than mine. Mine's kind of a tighter to the, well, I guess it's not really tight to the neck, but shorter to the neck. Some people like their cowls longer, or like a longer infinity scarf type thing. But to follow along with me, I went ahead and I chained 80. So once you get your chain of 80 made, you want to follow it down without twisting your chain. And we're going to slip stitch into the first chain, and that's going to form one large ring. Alright, now we are going to chain 1. Now that chain 1 does not count as a stitch. We're going to go back right through the spot that we just slip stitched into, and we're going to do a single crochet. Now I'm going to work along my chain, and I'm going to be putting one single crochet in every stitch all the way around my big chain. Just like this. So row 1, one single crochet in every stitch all the way around until we make it back over here to our starting point. Alright, I have made it to the end of round 1, and you should have a total of 80 stitches. So what we're going to do now is we're going to end the round by slip stitching into our first single crochet. Not the chain 1 we did, but the first single crochet. Just like that. Now we'll start round 2. So we're going to start with the chain 1. Now that chain 1 does not count as a stitch. And we're going to be working right back in that same place that we just slip stitched into. So this is going to start, this first stitch is going to start the repeat of the row. So what we're going to do into the same stitch here, we're going to work a double V stitch. So what that consists of, right there in that same spot, we're going to work 2 double crochets. So there's 1 and there's 2. And then we're going to work a chain 2, and then we're going to go back in the same spot and we're going to work 2 more doubles. So that is how we work a double V-stitch in this pattern. 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 doubles, just like that. And now we are going to work a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to skip 4 stitches. So we want to skip 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the next one we're going to single crochet like that. And then we're going to chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip 4 stitches again. Skip, 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 skip. And in the next one, we're going to do a double V-stitch. So we're going to go into the next one, and we're going to work 2 doubles. Chain of 2, and 2 more doubles. Just like that. And repeating. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Single into the next. Chain 3. Skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Double V into the next. So 2 doubles. Chain of 2. 2 more doubles. Chain 3. Skip 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Single into the next. Chain 3. Skip 4. Double V into the next. And we're just going to keep repeating this pattern until we get back around to our starting point. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's not too hard. So I'm just going to continue repeating this until I make it to the end of round 2. Alrighty, come to the end of round 2. So I did a double V, I chained 3, I skipped 4, and then I single crocheted in the next. And you should have 4 stitches that remain. You want to go ahead and chain 3, skip those 4 stitches, and we're going to end the round by slip stitching into our first double crochet of our first V. And following me, you should have a total of 8 of those double V stitches now at the end of round 2. Like that. Okay, now we're going to start round 3. Now round 3 starts the repeat for the cowl. Rounds 3, 4, 5, and 6 are the repeat rounds. So it's a 4-round repeat. So we're going to go ahead and start off. We are going to slip stitch 2 times until we get to the middle of this double V. And then we will chain 1. And we're going to work a double V in the chain space of this double V. So we're going to go right through the chain space, and we're going to work 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles. You'll start to notice after a while, our double V stitches always line up the entire pattern. Line up like that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to do a chain of 3 again. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to skip this chain 3 space here, and we're going to single crochet into the top of this single crochet. Just like this. And then we are going to do a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to double V stitch into the chain 2 space of this double V stitch. And that's kind of what we're going to repeat all the way around. It's not hard, is it? It's actually pretty easy. It looks more confusing than it is. Like that. And now we're going to repeat. So we're going to do a chain of 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Skip this chain space here. We're going to single crochet right here into the top of this single crochet. And then we're going to chain 3 again and double V stitch into the chain space of this double V stitch. So 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles. And we're going to repeat, chain 3, and skip this chain space, single crochet into the top of that single crochet right here. Chain 3 again, and we're skipping this chain space and double V stitching into the chain space of the next double V. So I'm going to repeat this pattern for the rest of the row 3 here, or round 3, until I get back to my starting point. Alright, I'm coming to the end of row 3. I did my last single crochet and the last single crochet, and there's just 1 chain space. What we're going to do is chain 3 and end by slip stitching into our first double crochet of our first double V, and you should have 8 double V stitches still. Just like that. That's what it kind of looks like. Now row 4 is probably the most difficult row or round of the whole cowl, but it's not even really that difficult. You'll be able to do it. So we're going to start off by slip stitching 2 times to the middle of our first double V stitch, and we're going to chain 1, and we're going to work a double V stitch into that chain space. So we'll work our 2 doubles, a chain of 2, and 2 more doubles. Okay, so now we are going to work a chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we are going to single crochet into the next single crochet. So right down here, we're going to go ahead and single crochet into that. Now we're going to work across this chain of 5 that we just made. So we're going to do a chain of 1 and turn our work. Now that chain 1 that we just did does not count as a stitch. So we are going to put a double crochet right back into that single crochet that we just made. And then we're going to put 1 double crochet in each of these 5 chains that we just made. So go right into each of them, there's 5 of them, and put a double crochet. So counting that first double crochet that we put into the single crochet plus the 5 on the chain, we're going to have 6 double crochets here. Just like that. So there's the first one that we put into the single crochet, and then there's the next 5 that I put 1 in each of the chain 5 spaces for a total of 6. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn our work back around to the front, and we're going to put a double crochet in every stitch again. So right back into this very first double crochet, we work a double, and then a double across the remaining stitches. So you'll have a total of 6 double crochets again. So that's what it kind of looks like. And then what we're going to do is we are just going to go directly to our next double V stitch and work a double V stitch in it. We're not going to chain or anything, so just go right directly into it, and we're going to work a double V stitch. So 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles, and that's what we're going to repeat. See, that was not hard, was it? You can do it. And it's cool looking too, I think. So let's continue. So we start again by chaining 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure you do it loose enough though so you can go back into those stitches. Now we're going to single crochet down here into the single crochet from the previous row, just like we did before. Chain 1 and turn our work. Now we're going to work 1 double crochet right back into that single crochet that we just made. 1 double crochet, and then we're going to work 1 double crochet in each of the 5 chains that we just made. 1 double crochet in each of the chain spaces. So those 5, and then the one that we put in the single crochet, will have a total of 6 double crochets across here. Just like that. And we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to put 1 double crochet in each of those 6 double crochets, starting with this very first one. Just like that. Now we're going to jump directly to the next double V, no chains or anything, just go directly into it and put a double V right into the chain space. So 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 doubles. And that is what we're going to repeat all the way around for round 4. I'm going to do it one more time for you. That's what it's starting to look like. It's looking pretty dang cool. Okay. We're going to chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we are going to single crochet into this single crochet here from the previous row. And then we want to chain 1 and turn and put a double crochet into that single crochet that we just did. And then 1 double crochet in each of the 5 chain spaces that we just made. Mine tightened up, but that happens. Okay, so counting that first double crochet, we'll have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Chain 1 and turn. Put 1 double crochet in each of those 6 double crochets, starting with this very first one. There's 6, and then we jump directly to our next double V, which is right here, and double V stitch into it. And that's it. That's what we're going to do the whole time. You can do it. So let's just repeat this pattern all the way around until we get back to our starting point. Alright, I'm coming to the end of round 4. I just did my last little box thing, whatever that is. Now I'm going to end by slip stitching into the first double crochet of my first double V stitch. That'll end round 4. You'll still have your 8 double V stitches, and now you'll have 8 of these little boxes. I'm just going to call them boxes. We'll have 8 of those. Okay, for round 5, We are going to slip stitch 2 times to our first chain 2 space, the middle of our first V. So there's 1 and 2. We're going to chain 1 and we're going to work a double V-stitch into that same chain space. So 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles. Now we are going to work a chain of 3, and we are going to single crochet into the top of our first double over here. So this top row, the first double. So just single crochet right into the top of that, like that. And then we will chain 3 again. And then we are going to go to our next double V stitch, and we're going to work a double V in that chain space. So 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 doubles. And that's the repeat now for round 5. Pretty simple. That kind of holds that in place there. So again, we are going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. You want to loosely chain those. 3. And then we're going to single crochet into the very first double crochet at the top. Then we're going to chain 3 and jump to our next double V, and we're going to double V into that chain space. And this is what we're going to repeat now for round 5. Chain 3, single crochet into the top first double crochet of that box, chain 3, and double V-stitch into the center of the next double V-stitch. So I'm going to keep repeating this pattern for round 5 until I get back to my starting point. That is kind of what it's starting to look like. Pretty cool. Alright, coming to end of round 5. I single crochet into the first double crochet in my last square. I did a chain 3, and now I'm going to end by slip stitching into the first double crochet of my first double V-stitch, and you'll still have your 8 double V-stitches. Round 6 is the final round of the repeat. We are going to slip stitch 2 times to the middle of that first double V-stitch. And we're going to go ahead and chain 1 and do our double V-stitch into that chain space. So 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles. And now we are going to do a chain of 3, and we're going to put 1 single crochet into the top of this single crochet, like that. And we're going to chain 3, and then we're going to do a double V-stitch into the middle of this double V-stitch. That's it. That's all there is to this round. Chain 3, single crochet into the top of this single crochet right here, chain 3, and double V into the next double V. Again, chain 3, single crochet into the top of this single crochet that's attached to this square, chain 3, and double V into the next double V. And I'm going to repeat this pattern all the way around for round 6. That's what it looks like. Pretty neat. Alright, I'm going to finish it up and I'll meet you back around the starting point. Alright, I'm coming to the end of round 6. I did my single crochet that on top of that single crochet that was on top of this square here, the very last one. And then I chained 3, and I'm going to end round 6 by slip stitching into my first double crochet and my first V. 8 V stitches total. That's it. Now we're going to repeat what we did starting from round 3. So we're going to repeat rounds 3, 4, 5, and 6 until you get it the length that you want it to be. However wide you want your cowl to be, that's how many times you want to repeat. I think it looks pretty darn neat. So I just finished round 6. I'm going to start round 7, which will be a repeat of round 3. If you need to rewind me, go right ahead. But I'm going to keep repeating rounds 3, 4, 5, and 6 until I get my cowl as thick as I'd like it to be. And I'll let you know how many rows I do here in just 1 second. All right. Here is mine so far. Now, you can make yours taller if you want, by all means. So I did a total of 13 rows, starting from our very first row 1. So I ended mine on a not a complete repeat of all the rows. I ended it on, we repeated rows 3 through 6. I ended it on a row 5 repeat. So 13 rows total. That's what I did to make it my size, but by all means you can make it however big you want. So now I'm going to go ahead and clip my yarn off. Get a good chuckle out of this. Can only find my daughter's safety scissors. Hey, whatever works though, right? Okay, so now I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to go along the bottom and clean up that bottom edge. Now I do get asked a lot in my videos why when I do my starting chain I don't go through the back bump so I don't have to do this again. Now sometimes I do that. It just depends really on the pattern that I'm doing. Most of the time though, I like to go back and clean up the edge with another row of single crochet. Personally for me, I feel that it looks better, but you know, to each their own, so that's why I do that. So just start anywhere along the bottom here. Here's our very first row of single crochet we did. Here's our starting tail right here. So go in any stitch here along the bottom, pull up a loop, and then we will go back. Well, find my tail here. Okay. We will chain 1 and then we're going to go back into that same stitch there and single crochet. And now I'm going to go across at the same time. I'm going to try to hide my tails. And I'm going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch along the bottom. And that's going to clean up that bottom edge. So I'm going to work around on this finishing row, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around until I get back to my starting point. Alright, I made it back to my starting point. You should have a total of 80 stitches because that's what we started with. But as long as it's somewhere in the vicinity of that, it'll be alright. Go ahead and slip stitch into that first single crochet that we made. And then we can tie that off. And then you want to hide and clip off any remaining tails that you have. All right, that's it. Once you get all your tails hidden, it's done. I think it's really cool. I like it. I like the yarn. I like the stitch. Definitely nice, lightweight dress-up cowl, you know, for a night on the town. For those warmer yet still cool nights that are, you know, spring, early spring, late winter. Very pretty. That's pretty. So, thanks everybody for watching. I hope you were able to follow along. I bet you were. Now remember, if you make this, I'd really love to see a picture of it. You can show me on my Facebook page, or you can show me on Instagram. There's links to both of those below in the description box. I love to have you join both of my pages. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my videos. Lots of tutorials for you to check out. Lots of yarn talk. I love to talk yarn. So that's it, everybody. Have a good night. Thanks.